Now, of course, weeks after the primary in Arizona, investigations into voter disenfranchisement and suppression have continued at the behest of both the Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders campaigns, as well as the Justice Department. Now, in a hearing, a poll worker in Arizona had testified that dozens of voters in Maricopa County were affected by a supposed computer glitch during last month's primary election. Now, this woman, Dianne Post, who was an attorney and a Maricopa County poll worker, testified that the computer system checking in voters wouldn't actually allow her to give the correct ballots to at least 36 voters. She also said that 22 other voters were listed in the wrong party. And this is all reported by the Arizona Republic. She said, quote, "Every single time it happened to me, it was a Democratic voter who wasn't able to access a Democratic ballot." Wow, that's pretty strange. Now, one of the other people who have faced one of these irregularities was a woman named Elisa Wolf of Pima County. Now, she testified that her voter registration, like many others, had been improperly switched from Democrat to Independent. Now, of course, Arizona closed primary. So if you're not registered, or if you had been re-registered by one of these supposed glitches, well, it turns out your vote wouldn't be counted. Your vote doesn't matter. It gets tossed out. Even if you maybe do a provisional ballot, then at least until this gets fixed, those provisional ballots don't actually count. Now, Maricopa County Superior Court Judge David Gass rejected requests to dismiss a lawsuit filed over the problematic March 22 primary election, which of course was won by Hillary Clinton. Now, the Democratic Party, Clinton and her challenger Bernie Sanders, they ended up filing lawsuits, as I mentioned, over these problems and over other problems caused when election officials shut down different polling stations. They say it was in order to save money. But when you look at where they shut them down, that doesn't exactly hold up. These polling stations that were shut down were primarily located in poor and minority-heavy areas. That's funny how that's the first thing that they shut down, is the ones in the poorer areas, or where there's lots of Latinos. That sounds a lot like, I don't know, voter suppression. Add in the fact that it happened to Democrats mostly, that's a pretty strong indicator that it's voter suppression. And it gets worse. This is a possible look into what could happen in November. If they do it in the primary, what makes you think they won't do the same thing in a general election, which would end up favoring Republicans? Look, and that's what this is about. Voter suppression of Democrats in a general election? You don't really have to think too hard to realize who that benefits, okay? And look, this isn't just about primaries, which, by the way, in my opinion, should be open for all. And I've been pretty vocal on that. But also about, as I said, the general election and Republican voter suppression. Now, it's not just Republicans that have engaged in voter suppression. There's also been Hillary Clinton, who has been accused of that as well, her campaign, and the Democratic establishment. So I say this, any party, any candidate that restricts voting, that makes less people vote, is on the wrong side. If you can't win without making it hard to vote, then maybe you don't deserve to win at all.